Squiddish and nothing to do with Harry Potter. Squidly and nothing to do with SpongeBob. This is a whole new breed. Welcome to Super Squidlit Review. And go and ink those like and subscribe buttons. Oh, that sounds rather disgusting, doesn't it? To be kept up to date with all my latest. And yeah, okay, hit that link below to come and see us in our community Discord. And so, no more puns or whatever the hell those were. Let's have a look at the gameplay. And firstly, I think this is actually a sequel to the first one, which I believe is on one of the other handhelds, those tiny ones if you remember them. But this time you're actually working with, I think, the enemy from the first game. And there's something even more evil out there this time round. The story is quite engaging, and I like the fact that you can talk to almost everybody that you meet by pressing up on the actual D-pad. And I mean the NPCs, not the enemy NPCs, if you know what I mean. That would be a big mistake. But yes, the story keeps you going and is told rather nicely. And there's quite a bit of humour in there as well, which did make me chuckle from time to time. As for actually playing the game, most of it's set in a side-scrolling mode where you're actually the squid and you move from left to right, having to jump over actual enemies, and whilst you're up there you can press that button again and you will squid them, no, ink them, yeah. And this works quite cool and quite well, as you can probably see from the gameplay video. And then there's little things like you can roll up and destroy walls, and also certain enemies involve you to roll up, hit them in the face, and then jump over them and ink them there as well. And there's good variety of flying, slithering, rolling, walking enemies all over the place. And then that bad guy that I mentioned before, the evil guy from the first game, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, Squiddy Squid we're going to call him from now on, if I remember that. And you get to play him as well eventually, and it's in like first person shootery type way. And in this mode you get to use his magic. Yes, magic in these almost like dungeon master type halls, dispensing these like, well, monsters that you see in the actual side-on view, but you get to see them in kind of a 3D type way or something like that. And in this mode you also get to level him up as well, and you get to put up his fire ray, ether siphon, clip, squeeze, and some elemental stuff. And each level up does something different to those powers, which is pretty cool. And from here you can also look at stats as well, which is also cool for hit points and mana points and all that lot. And in this mode all of this works from your mana and the like, so no mana, no power really, and you know, lose your health and you die. And that's where this all sounds cool, but I really dislike this mode. I really disliked it. I think it's the worst part of the actual game itself. It just felt clunky, it felt awkward, the controls were, I know what they were going for, I probably deliberately did it this way, but it just felt bad and just didn't hit a chord with me. Yeah, just the worst part of the game. And then there are the flying levels as well. These are pretty cool as a side-scroller shooter type way, and yeah, it does what you think that a side-scrolling shooter would do as well. The game plays quite well apart from what I've mentioned, and so far I haven't had any crashes or anything, and it's kept the frame rate up quite well. The game seems to be able to keep most things fresh, the sceneries are different, and yeah, apart from what I mentioned before, I think this is going to hold quite a few retro lovers' attention for quite a while. Graphically, as I said, there's a good variety of creatures or enemies here. There is a good variety of places to go, as in sceneries. You know, it's all mainly backdrops and all that lot, but it's still quite a good variety. The game really holds true to that retro look, which is pretty cool. It's just that I mean, yeah, it's just that FPS bit. Even the graphics offended me. It just didn't feel right for me. I'm really sorry. Audio wise, it's a retro audio. Just go and listen to it. The good, nice bit of storytelling, a nice game in general, fun, humorous. The bad, that FPS bit, no, I can't get over it. A little bit more better sound maybe, although they were going for retro, so I suppose they nailed it. The score, and this is based on my own personal views and everything of the actual game, and also whether it's going to make it up onto the Wall of Fame, or the Wall of Shame, or somewhere in the middle. And I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Definitely a 3 out of 5. If it wasn't for that FPS bit, just really tainted it for me, then maybe it would have been a little bit higher. But it just kept on taking me out of the game. It was like, I don't want to play this bit anymore. And as for my alternative, well, I'm going to go for another retro game. Save Me Mr. Taco Definitive Edition. Now I've reviewed this, I quite enjoyed the retroness. This is more retro than retro. And yeah, it was fun. And again, it was very sort of like going different places. And obviously the colour seems to stay the same. But it was a fun game, well worth a check out after you finished Super Squidlit. And so, what are your thoughts on Super Squidlit? Are you going to be picking up or not? Or is it just not your bag? And also consider hitting that like and subscribe button to be kept up to date with all my latest content. And also come and join us in our community Discord. There and I are a bunch of great people who like to have fun and play games, because life is better when we switch together.